Hmm.
You look lost.
I know. I think I tried to do that on mine and couldn't for some reason.
I know I did it on my old trailer warmer.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what problem I ran into. It was probably just there wasn't enough room to do something or whatever.
Probably.
Huh. I did take out
I
my
don't know.
middle support bar in my warming cabinet.
Did
You
you?
get that metal rod that goes across the like halfway down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took that thing out.
Oh, because it's annoying when you have a freaking pan behind it.
Sure is. That
Yeah.
is exactly why I took it out.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I took that out, but then you have there's two screws that hold that in. There's
Yeah.
nowhere those screws aren't threaded into the they're threaded into the bar, not into the cabinet.
Yeah, you can't take them out of the cabinet.
So then you just gotta I just put some duct tape over them, over the holes,
Why don't you just
keep
you
the
have a
heat in.
grinder?
Grinder. What's the grinder gonna do? Oh, to grind the bar out.
To cut it out.
Why would you do? Why would you cut something out that has two screws in it?
You said you couldn't get to the. How'd you get to the screws?
I detached. I rolled the cabinet out from the wall.
Oh, you can get to the screws from the outside?
Yeah.
Why
So
don't
they're
you
on the
just take the
outside of the
screws out
cabinet.
then?
They go. They. I did take the screw. You can't put the screws back in though. There's nothing for
Oh,
them to thread
okay.
back into.
Sorry. Okay. So there you okay. To answer Shane's question, uh, my new trailer, they are attached to the wall and the floor with feet. Um, the
They're attached to the
wall
wall.
seem no, they are attached to the wall and to the floor with
How are they
feet
attached to the wall?
brackets, right
Like
angle
L.
brackets,
Yeah.
L brackets. Yeah,
Yeah. I like
but I
yours
can
better.
tell you that
Right angle is probably
the
more
screw,
proper.
yeah, that the screws they use to attach to the floor are very simple self tappers. So the wall is what really keeps them
And that's all that's holding mine
in.
is I have those right angles on top of on top of my warming cabinet. They're there. But then they had placed some square tube behind behind. I think is that how they did that? Oh no, I think I have two separate right angles. So there's a right angle on the wall that goes out, and then the other one goes that way from there. So um, and then they attach the two together. Like how mine is. I think that's how mine's set up. But yeah, big pain in the ass to pull those out. When we
Yeah,
redesigned or relaid out our trailer, it was a pain in the ass. And some of them aren't in the same hole as they were before.
yeah,
But yeah, they were self-tapping leg screws is what they used for those. And as long as you get them into the trailer studs, if you have all steel studs in your trailer, um, then yeah, that'll hold. They'll hold. We haven't had a problem really with ours. So
yeah. It should work out.
I wouldn't mind something to attach it to the ground too, but to the floor. But
I have well. The other thing is, so in the old trailer, I have a table mounted to the floor with feet, and I actually drilled the hole and put a nut and bolt or a washer and a nut on top. So it's done that way versus being attached to the stud.
okay. Um, Shane, I'm assuming you're the same Shane that commented on our Facebook post. Um, you have a 6-day barrel race event about an hour away from us. Free to go, but you have to run your generator 24/7. Do we just shut down as much as possible at night to save a gas? Yes. Um, your generator, if you shut everything down, even with just your fridges going, it's not going to pull hardly anything. We leave our generators running overnight probably a handful of times a year at different events. Um, and we've never come back to a generator running out of gas. Um, we'll leave at like 9 o'clock at night. And we'll be back at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I don't even think we've gone through half a tank or half the tank. And that's just with our refrigerator going, our sandwich prep table, and then lights. And we turn the AC off usually, unless it's really really hot and muggy. Then we'll leave it running. But yeah, you should be fine. I don't think it'll be an issue for you. But yeah, just make sure anything that doesn't need to be on, just turn off. But your
Well,
LED lights aren't going to pull any power really. It's your steam tables and your heating elements that really suck power.
Yeah, either that or, I mean, a lot of places they won't provide 30 or 50 amp power, but they may have a 20 around. So I'd ask it, hey, just for my fridge or something like that, is there a 20 amp available, or just a regular outdoor plug that you can plug those in?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I've done
And
before.
then while we're on the Facebook comment section, Jason Scanlon from Bernie's Blue Line, caterer first, but looking to get into more vending for events. What do you guys look for when choosing events? Any immediate red flags? Wants to make sure he's picking stuff that's worth it.
Yeah. Let's
And
talk about that.
we
It's a
have
good
gone through
topic.
this once or twice, but we're always willing to
It's the
go back
beginning
to
of the
it.
season. Let's talk about it now.
Yeah.
Do it. Talk. Okay,
No,
so
I don't think
that's
there's
enough from Josh.
immediate red flags. Um, a if the attendance numbers seem too good to be true, they probably are. Most event organizers overpromise and underdeliver, so keep that in mind when you're getting numbers from them. Um, Always plan on at least one additional truck to the number they give you. Um,
Yeah, because there are organizers out there that cannot say no.
yeah,
Like there are people who say, "Oh, we're full. We'll worry about next year." But I'm going to something on Saturday that I already know there's two other barbecue trucks there, just because the lady cannot say no. And
yeah,
I'm not overly looking forward to it. I just know that of the two other ones, and it's supposed to rain all day Saturday, I'm the only one with an awning. So hopefully my
nice.
people will be uh, saved. Um,
Um, yeah, I mean, organizers love variety, so they will try to have as much variety as they can without thinking about our business.
and try to charge you
Um,
$100 a. By the way, so Josh was saying about the number of people. The formula that I use is you take the number of people they tell you. Um, Depending on the festival slash whatever it is, 1/3 to a half of that number will eat. More likely, it'll be like a third. And you take that third. So if it's 1,000 people, a third of that's 333. Then you divide it by the number of food trucks, like food trucks, that are going to be there. Like meaning, if you're an entree truck, you do entree truck. If you're a sweet truck, you do a sweet truck. Drink trucks, you know what I mean. Divide that number by, let's say there's 3 food trucks there that hopefully, best case scenario is you're going to have 100 sales. Doesn't always work like that, but that's a kind of a good thing to prep for, because you don't want, depending on what type of food truck you are, you don't necessarily want waste.
yeah,
Sorry, keep going.
yeah, and if someone's telling you 10,000 people for a 1 day, book swap meet or something like that, it's not 10,000 people. Um, so any event for me that says they have to use their POS, I'm out immediately. And a percentage of sales, I'm usually out. Usually, it depends on the percentage, and then the size of the event. So we were looking at a 3-day event, and it's just not going to work out for us this year, because they want to try our food before they made a decision. But that had to be done 2 weeks ago. So, because we were a new vendor, I get it. I understand why they're doing it. We're like, yeah, you don't have to bring the whole truck. You can just bring us, you know, a sampling of your entrees. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm not cooking $100 worth of food for you to have a bite of a sandwich and a bite of mac and cheese. So I
And they
thought that was kind
probably
of
were they going to pay you for it?
no,
Of
no. This
course
was on
not.
our cost. So
Yeah.
um, I've invited them out for a tasting later in the year at their convenience, their committee or whatever, so that they can taste it before next year, and hopefully that they were pretty receptive to that. So I think it's one of those things where they really wanted us, and I think we got some recommendations from some other trucks that they reached out to, but still wanted to try the food. So they were trying really hard to make a tasting work before mid February. So with us, so hopefully that works out for next year. But anyways, that's a massive event. It is huge. The trucks all do really well there, and they want 10%. So on a weekend where for a 3-day event, there's a possibility where we can pull 20 grand in sales. I'm okay doing a $2,000 event fee essentially. I guess at that point, I've said the term 1,000 times on the show, is economies of scale.
Yep.
Given 10% on a really crappy day of you do $500, and that $50 is just more loss. But if we're making money, then yeah, we'll share that. So that's how I see it. But for the most part, I don't deal with percentage cuts or their own POSs. Those are the big ones. Not
don't
having
get
consistent
scammed.
communication. Yeah, consistent communication is huge. If someone reaches out to you on Facebook from a festival that you've talked to somebody else from, even if it's on Facebook, it's a red flag. There's a lot of those going out there where you'll show interest in an event, and then somebody else from supposedly the same event will try to book you for it and request a PayPal, Venmo type down payment on your event fees. So those are all scams.
Anybody that asks you, another scam is anybody that asks you for money before you're chosen.
Yeah.
A lot of the good events will say, "Hey, please sign up. If you're chosen, we'll send you an invoice."
Yep.
Those are good ones. Shane, would you go to a 3-day event if they said you had to be open from 10 to 7 every day? The answer is yes, ish. It depends on the event. It depends on number of people, things like that. If you think it's possible, absolutely get her done.
So that the same event that I was talking about, it's a Festival of the Arts at Grand Rapids, and that was one of the requirements. You had to be open the entire time. And for barbecue guys, that's a little bit harder to guarantee. But I guess, yeah, what's the requirement of being open? We still have drinks. we have potato salad. So yeah, it's at that point, I think, yes, I would do it, but just make sure that you have something that's quick and easy that you can continuously cook in case you start running out of your main staples, to make good on that requirement.
So this is my question for you, Josh.
Oh, real quick on that.
Sorry,
if
please.
they are requiring food trucks to be open the entire time, that probably means they've had a lot of trucks sell out earlier in the day, and it's been a problem selling food in the evening hours, which could be a good sign that it's a busy festival, in my opinion. Back to you, Skippy. Take it away. Skippy? Hello, Skippy? You still there, bud? Uh-oh. Might have lost Skippy. I don't know if we lost the show. Skippy, are you there? Skippy? Uh-oh. I think we lost Skippy for a second. He seems to be off the air for a second. We lost him. So he'll be back in just a second. He sent me a Facebook message. So Facebook virus? Duke? Yeah, probably. I think Skippy is rebooting his device currently. we will get that boy on a proper podcast setup one of these days. Oh. And now I got distracted. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Trying to get Skippy back online here. Skippy says his new watch wristband hit the laptop power button. Things that could only happen to Skippy. I wish I knew the question he was going to ask me because, yeah. More on events. We've done a lot of events that have been not great. You never know for sure. And then if it's a bad event, what are the factors that led to it being bad? Was it bad weather? Was there a lot of other events going on during that weekend? Did the same town, city, whatever, have multiple events back to back, and this was the second one, and people are burned out? You just don't know. So, I mean, we've had events where we've gone a couple times before we've said we're not going back because of either rain or whatever. And we've had events that have just been okay that we go back to every year because it's a consistent weekend and we know what's going on. We know what to expect. And they take good care of us. They're easy to work with. Hold on, everybody, just a second. Now Skippy has lost his link to be able to get in. Copy. Paste. So Skippy should be rejoining us here in just a second. And my browser has completely changed. Excellent. And I think Skippy, where are you? Well, we're almost there. Oh, there he is. And Skippy, hello, welcome back.
I'm on my phone now. I don't know what's going on with my computer.
System updates that you've been putting off for a while that they're now running?
Probably. So I got a new watch, and my laptop button is right there ish. All right. Anyway, so the question I have, and now that I can't really Google it. So, do you think food trucks can survive in rural areas?
Yeah, of course I can. Yeah, and we have them. Newego has like 3 food trucks within
Okay.
that little 4-town radius, and they're out running. One of them runs 6-7 days a week. The other one does like 3 days a week. One's a
Do they
barbecue,
stay?
a taco truck.
Do they stay in that town?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they stay in. Well, I mean, they stay in rural Newego. Yeah, I mean they're in a little bit further north. So yeah, so like Newego, Grant, White Cloud, Fremont are all pretty small towns. But yeah, they'll do
Like
events that area.
if they have if you blink you miss the stoplight kind of small town.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah, a couple of those are. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They're Newego. Fremont's the biggest of those 4. Newego's the second biggest. I mean,
Okay.
so yeah.
So I was having a conversation with one of our listeners today about small town stuff, and you know, is it worth it going out in March? Like unpredictable weather, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about like where could you, if you're in a small town, where could you set up? Is there local gas station? Is there a Lowe's, a Home Depot, or somewhere close to you, whatever? Um, so if you're setting up in a small town, what would be the first place you would look to?
Um, Grocery store,
Okay,
and then auto parts
like a
store.
like a mom and pop grocery store, or like a
Whatever's
Meyer.
in the town. I
Okay,
mean, I guess if we're talking small town, it probably doesn't have a Meyer.
correct. They'll
Newaygo
probably
doesn't
have
have a
a.
Meyer. Yeah, whatever small regional local chain, you
Okay.
know, whether it was, I mean, we had Plums up in the area for a while, and then now it's Leppings.
If
Um,
you had a if you had a gas station that was willing to allow you to set up there, would you put some sort of signage up somewhere saying, "Hey, I'll be here this day every week"? So even if it is
like
a
at the
small
gas station.
town, yeah.
Yeah, if they let me, I guess. Yeah. I might say, I mean, if I guess that they allow that kind of thing on the doors. So maybe if you could put a paper flyer in the door type of thing at eye
So
level.
what about like a yard sign, like out at the curb?
Yeah, yeah. Tuesdays barbecue here.
And do you think that type of advertising works for? I think that type of advertising works for small towns because even if that gas station doesn't get busy, people driving by early morning before you even get there are going to see that, okay, I can stop here and get barbecue on my way home.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't have an awning right now,
Yep.
previously obviously you did and it worked flawlessly.
Hmm.
Do you plan on going out in the rain until that awning is fixed?
Of course.
Okay. So how do you judge, like, if you were going out to a food truck, would you wait in the rain for food?
Yeah, because I carry an umbrella with me. I mean,
Okay.
everybody knows what the weather is.
So what would make
Does it
them
hurt
what would
business? Yes, of course it hurts business. McDonald's isn't as busy when it rains. You
correct.
know,
What do you think the attraction of an actual food truck versus a Wendy's, McDonald's, whatever would typically, I don't know about do better in the rain, but just the fact that the conversation we had was like it's gonna rain. So like why would I go out because I don't have an awning?
okay.
So I went out in the rain.
Hmm.
It is what it is. If people are gonna stop, they're gonna stop no matter what, if they're
Yeah.
hungry. But do you
So
look for like
go
I
ahead.
guess like how does rain really affect business?
Like
Because obviously
actual sales or my thought about the day.
your thought. I mean, I think if you're going to a food truck, you already know that what you're planning on. Versus people that are just driving by notice that you have a food truck there, but it's raining. Those are
It
the
is
people that are going to wait outside for your food.
70% of the time it will be slower than a normal day if it rains. I do not plan any differently when I'm cooking food. You know why? Because
Because you just never know.
the forecast is wrong all the time.
Yeah, you just at the end of the day, you
We
just
had
never know.
2 Food Truck Friday events got canceled this last summer in the morning because it was a 70-80% chance of thunderstorms in the evening. And it was a beautiful day the whole day.
Yeah, it didn't rain. Of course not.
It didn't,
Why would
yeah.
it?
So yeah, it
Oh
was the
yeah.
only time they've ever canceled the event for weather, and it didn't even end up raining. Um, so yeah, you never know. And for us, we can't look at the forecast that way because we have to cook everything the night before. I mean, there's been plenty of times where it's been a 10% chance of rain, and it rains all day. So who knows? Chad is calling in with a question.
Oh,
Let's bring him in. This is our first
Sure.
call in. I'm
Oh,
excited.
okay.
Hey, Chad. Oh, you're gonna have to turn down your radio though. We'll get this
Hey,
figured out.
so also known as Duke. Oh,
Yeah.
better?
Well, maybe. Sorry, everybody.
Good, no.
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
think we're better. If you have
Oh,
headphones, pop those on.
I don't.
Oh, okay. We'll see how this goes then.
Yeah. So what Skippy was referring to is me. He's been
Oh
now.
boy.
I
Now,
wasn't calling you out. Did I call you out? No, I
listen,
did not.
listen, 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 Linda. All right, I'm gonna throw a little bit of shade right here because if we want to rewind back, and I will have video and audio proof of what Skippy just said. He's going to an event this weekend that is forecasting rain. In his comment, I'll pretty much quote this, is that he's hoping his awning is going to save him versus the other two barbecue trucks because what? They don't have an awning.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So he's already got the premonition that with an awning, it's going to drive more traffic towards him. Now,
I partially agree.
The potential
So-
is there. The potential is there.
So-
Absolutely.
but at the same token, if
Mhm.
I could sit here and justify that it's not going to rain Friday, Saturday, and snow on Sunday,
Uh-huh.
then I could justify going out. I'm not worried about water in the tanks. I'll back my trailer into the heated shop and
Mhm.
it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Not worried about that at all. However, if I can't, as much as I'm friends with you, Skippy, and Josh, I wouldn't stand out in the rain for neither one of you. And I actually kind of like both of you.
I appreciate that.
So, but
I have had customers stand out in the rain and snow for us, so
So have I.
I have pictures and video too.
So when I was talking to you earlier, it was more of it's whether if it's something that you won't do, you think somebody else won't do it. And that's not how it is. People will like he said, people will go through I hate McDonald's, but if I'm really hungry, I'll stop at McDonald's.
And I think we're talking about two different questions. For a festival, if I'm at a festival, I'm already outside at said festival and it starts to rain, I'm probably going to go to the truck that has an awning. I don't care what they're selling, but just to get out of the rain for a second.
Awning
So,
or
yes.
tent, correct?
Yeah, something with a covering over at the window so I can get out of the rain for a second and get my food.
Okay.
While I'm digging through my pockets for my wallet or money or whatever. Roadside, I don't think it's as much of a driver. I think it helps. I think it's nice. So if I'm set up at like
It
a
helps.
if I'm set up at a gas station or whatever, and people are running in and out, they're more likely to come over and look at the menu under the awning than not if it's raining. But I don't think it's necessarily a driver of sales in that situation.
Right.
So
but
our regular customers are going to come to us no matter what, and I have called plenty of them stupid, and will continue to do so when there is a line that goes past our awning, and it's pouring rain or snowing.
You took a picture. You took a video, or maybe it was a picture. Last year, I think it was in May, when you had burn ends available,
Oh yeah,
and you had like 10 people in line, and it's like they weren't standing underneath the awning either.
yeah. No,
So, where I was going with it was just you don't know unless you try it.
and I can understand that. But the vast majority of people, like even Josh said, he's got an umbrella. The vast majority of people don't carry an umbrella.
For sure. But you're looking at
It's
it
out of
glass half
style
empty.
and it's out of times, right?
But you're looking at it as glass half empty.
No, I'm looking at it realistic.
And if you don't know what realistic is because you're basing it off of what you would do. You might not. You might be the norm. You might not. If you want me to go out Saturday and not put my awning out and see how many people I get, I'll why not?
I-
I mean, I don't necessarily think it has to do with the awning. It's about making the decision of going out or not going out. You said earlier you couldn't justify going out.
for one day.
You had no data.
No,
right?
I have no way to justify going out for one day, considering my weather options for the next 4. Right?
Sure.
My weather options for the next 4 days are crappy at best. Okay.
Sure.
So and like we spoke right before this podcast, was you have the option. You're going out tomorrow. Tomorrow's day number 1, right?
Yep.
And what happens if? So you sell out, great, good. But the next day, where are you going? Where are you going Thursday?
Thursday and Friday, I'm serving indoors.
There we go. So you have
I have that
what
opportunity.
I'm saying is you have an option because you can justify going out on that one nice day and then shutting the trailer down for 4 days. Right? Josh, are you going out this week?
No, but we aren't scheduled to go out this week. Our first day is on Sunday. And you know what? No matter what the weather is for the next 4 weeks, we'll be out every day that we're supposed to be out. 6 days a week.
And I can understand that.
I don't chase the weather.
It's kind of like the same thing why Tigers baseball has opening day and then they shut everything down for a day. And then if you look at the stands on game number 2, there's like 3 people there.
Because
they
no
get
one
you
wants
out
to sit
for
for
the
4 hours. 4 hours
in what? And then if you look at the last 10 years, how many times has it snowed on opening day?
A lot, probably.
You can't even get people to go watch America's greatest pastime in the snow.
Okay, hold on. The Detroit Tigers product has not been worth watching for the most part in the last 10 years.
Yeah, well, the Lions have been great for 50 years, and
I guarantee you Yankee Stadium selling out on opening day and the day after.
Well,
it's New York. They got nothing better to do.
And I'm only asking people to stand outside for 5 minutes versus 3 hours. So
all I was trying to get at is just rural towns, because you're in a rural town. What do you do? Where can you possibly look at? And Josh gave a couple good answers. Gas station, which you are already a part of. Auto parts stores. I know a bunch of people that go to auto parts stores.
Consistency is everything for me. So consistency of number of days open. People being able to count on you to be open for a regular schedule is crucial.
Yes.
So those that close, there's a chance of bad weather, I think hurts them in the long run. People know that unless something dramatically goes wrong with it, like if we're not open for a day, they know something bad happened. Because we've run with one person on crazy busy locations. We've had extension cords running all over our trailer. Like, if we're supposed to be open, 99% of the time we're going to be open. And people know that. So, I think it's a little bit different when we're starting.
That's not the argument that we're having right now. The argument is...
It is
going out too soon.
I don't think it's too soon. So if you go on, and I can only speak to the weather on the west side of the state over the last, so we've only had snow in our first week 1 out of the 4 years. It'll be 1 out of 5 years because we don't have anything in the forecast for this next week. So 1 out of 5 years we've had snow this first week we've been open, and that was last year. The rest of the time it's been above freezing, and 40 to 50 degrees is great temperature to stand outside for a food truck, especially warm barbecue. Yeah, I mean, the weather's, you're going to get, I mean, April's worse for us for weather than it is for March for the food truck. Just because we're still in rainy season, so you get rainy weather frequently. But our regular customers and our schedule's set up so that we have a couple locations that we're at every week. But for a lot of those, we're only there for once a month. So, because it's that kind of event, they're going to come regardless of the weather if they want the food. So, but we're in a much larger metro area than you are. So that helps. I still think that if you are gonna dedicate to days that you're open, then go regardless of the weather. Cook accordingly, maybe. But I think it's worth going. I think it's always worth going. There's been days where we know it's going to be slow and we still go. You know, that we know going into the day we're probably going to lose money. But for us, I justify it because people know that we're going to be there, and if we can get a couple new customers, then it's worth it for us. You know,
It's the glass half full mentality.
Yeah.
You just never know what's going to happen.
There's always going to be bad days, and you hope your good days are good enough to average out everything.
Outnumber your bad.
So don't look at the individual day sales. Look at your weekly sales. You know, you got to. It's all about an average, and you can't just go. You know, we had a really shitty day the one day it rained, so let's not go out anymore when it rains. If there's rain in the forecast, we're going to cancel those days. But I think the more consistently you can be in your set schedule, the better off you are, regardless of the weather. Now, if you get out somewhere and it is thunderstorming and there's tornado watches and then yeah.
If there's safety reasons, go home.
Yeah. And
health and safety, go home. I mean, or stay home or whatever. So I can tell you from experience that setting up in the Brooklyn location that I did really, really good the first 3 months. I had other events planned and I didn't go back for almost 2 months. And the last 2, I didn't do worth a crap. I mean, I still did okay, but not anywhere near where I did in the beginning of the year. So when you were talking about going to the one place and not really focusing on it, I don't necessarily think that that's a bad idea, but when your spaces are limited to begin with, it might be it might be your best shot. That's why I said try to see if you can put a sign on the yard or on.
And I told you,
I know that you can't.
Anything on their door is going to be okay.
I understand. So I'm trying to figure out how you can get business while you're not there. How about that? And that's where the sign comes.
Some of the business comes because I'm only a mile down the road. So when someone asks, "Oh yeah, where are you out of?"
Yeah,
right over there. Stand out the road and look.
You got to get him to stop in the first place. Is what I was going, what I was trying to get at. You got to get him to come up to you. You got to get him to know that you're there. And I think that's the thing I was trying to get at.
Right. No, well, I guess what I really called in is just to show that even you are hoping with your awning, it does help you.
I absolutely. That's why if I didn't think so, I wouldn't have ordered one. I do hope so, for sure. But there's no difference between an awning and a 10x10. Other than a button that you push to get it out or to retract it or extend it.
And that was the other thing. We're probably going to get a 10x10 just to have in front of our window, just in case.
So I mean, there's things to do. I just make hay while the sun shines. I know I've said that to you a couple times, but that's what I believe in. We'll always believe in. Could it?
A more pressing question that I have while I have you both here. What's the definition of a flight?
It's not a damn doggone platter. I can tell you that much.
It is definitely not a platter.
Let me tell you about this jabroni.
Skippy, do you need me to hang up on him?
This guy.
So
you notice that I was in cahoots with Josh about this, right?
That's fine.
This has been a thing that's been planned for over 2 weeks, and I just happened to wait until your computer crashed, where you can't do nothing.
I can hang up. That's fine. We can put you. Good. We can definitely put you on hold if that's possible.
Let's keep this respectful, everybody.
So the definition of a flight. So in my case, I have 4 brisket sandwiches or I have 4 pork sandwiches. They're different flavors. That, to me, is a flight. You put 4 different, the same thing. So in this case, it's a flight of beer is a flight of beer, but 4 different flavors or X amount of different flavors.
Right.
So a flight of pork would be like 4 different type of pork sandwiches. Right? That would be a flight. Josh?
3.
Would you
Could
call
be
that
3.
a flight? Could be
Well,
It could be
whatever.
no, wait, hold on.
Whatever
No,
the
because
number
at the
is.
end of the day, it's still beer. Beer is the base, and then you have different flavors of beer. But at the end of the day, the base is beer, right? So your baseline is barbecue.
Can I respond as moderator of this debate?
Please.
I think you are both correct.
Oh, boy.
Okay. So if you want to do okay, let's keep it for, let's say, a pork flight. We've done it like a pork 3 ways. So you do a pork slider, you do some straight up just pulled pork, and you do a little bit of pork loaded mac and cheese. It's all things pork sampler. It doesn't all have to be sandwich, in my opinion. Now, if I was going to do a slider flight, then yes, they would all be little slider sandwiches. But if I'm just calling it a barbecue flight, then yeah, I could have a little bit of brisket. I could have a little bit of pork. Maybe that one's on a bun. Then I could have a rib on the side. You know, is it a sampler platter? Sure.
Dude, that's a platter.
Too.
Platter's something you eat that's this big.
So when you
About as big as your head gets sometimes when you think you're right.
Okay, Skippy, check, shush. Skippy, when you go to Applebee's and you get an appetizer sampler, you say, no, that's not a sampler. This is a platter.
No, it's a sampler. I get it.
So could you have an appetizer flight?
In my definition, no, you couldn't.
See, and this is where I think you're both idiots and both not idiots. Your semantics over a definition of a word that doesn't have a true definition.
I think at the end of the day, it's marketing. It's it's marketing is what it is, but
right. And a flight is a trendy thing, and it's something that all trendy things are restaurants and breweries have and distilleries have. And I think you can do a barbecue flight that is not necessarily all exactly like items.
Okay.
All right. Chad, are you happy or unhappy with Judge Josh's decision?
Yeah, I mean, Judge Josh.
It's my own fault. I brought it up. I wasn't going to, but
no, I think you've been waiting on it for about 2 weeks now, just like I have.
I thought I could clip that out and we could get viral on somewhere.
I want my 10%.
But a flight.
No problem. I'll send you your 14 cents.
Hold on. A flight at a brewery is not a beer, a spirit, and a wine.
Well, no, because that's not a flight. That's all they have is beer.
Okay, you go to a bar. That's not a flight.
Good. No, but they also call it a beer flight
or a flight of beer. I get that, but that's the only thing of what it is. So you're giving right. So when you say a flight of pork, it's pork however many ways you want to do it. So what you said originally is would be considered a flight. Pork mac and cheese.
So what would be a barbecue flight?
I don't know if you could do a barbecue flight. It'd be a sampler platter or a platter.
It's not a platter.
What if I put it on a long, skinny plate?
It's completely different items.
So are the beers.
Hold on.
But it's beer, no matter what. It's beer.
We're at an hour and a half. If he brings back a severed head, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Get ratings to go up.
Yeah, probably. I don't know how to end his call. What do I do that
at? Anyway, I feel fine. You don't call it
sounds very angry.
A freaking doggone flight plate. They call it a serving platter. That means a big portion.
And I agree. In my mind, a platter is a much larger thing than a flight.
I agree. A flight are small things. They're small small drinks of beer. There's like 2 sips. 3/6
Right.
maybe.
Okay.
That's what would be a slider.
Why just call it a sampler then?
Fine, I'll call it a slider
a-
flight.
And I think that's perfect. I think that's a cool thing. I
There
think
you
doing
go.
a slider flight is awesome.
Okay, I'm doing a slider flight. Can't steal it, Chad.
Oh, because you've never
why?
stolen anything from anybody else.
Tainted now.
You just stole that from me. All right. We have to wrap the show up. We're at 1 hour and 32 minutes. Chad, thanks for joining us and being our first call-in. Oh, my God, fine. Just hang up on us. Jeez. All right, Skippy. Hell of a show.
I made everybody angry.
Some fireworks as a finale. Chad's always angry. I don't know that I've ever seen him happy.
Poor
Anyways.
old fella. So anyway, we agreed that rural towns can support food trucks.
I think so, absolutely, yes. Even in the rain or poor weather. I know that there's been a barbecue truck in Newaygo that went all winter this last winter. So
last thing before we sign off, I know it's, but I was gone for like 2.5 minutes. So, new ordinance that I've been told, Chad actually kind of helped me find this one out. In Ortonville, Michigan, which is over on the east side, your generator has to be anywhere from 25 to 50 feet away from your trailer.
I just gotta chill.
So that was new.
That should make things very easy.
Well, again, what if they permanently mounted it like you had originally?
Mm-hmm.
Guess you can't work that event, huh?
I guess not.
So, all right. Well, we can wrap it up. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Chad, for calling in, being our first guinea pig.
We
thank you for the spirited conversations.
Yes, we will be back on Monday, everybody, at our regular day.
What the hell did you do? What the hell's going on? Oh, boy. Oh.
Did you stay on or did it kick you off too?
No, it said you were going to be, the host will be soon. We're still recording, though.
Okay, great. Well, it says new recording. It's the timer on mine started over. So hopefully it's all good. We'll figure this out, guys. 9 a.m. Eastern next Monday.
The first time we ever did a podcast.
Yeah. All kinds of issues. All right, guys. Have a good day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.